Joe Lee, Limerick minor football manager. Joe, I suppose after a lengthy layoff, you got back in action with a Munster quarter-final win over Waterford on Saturday. Were you impressed with the manner of the victory, 2-12 to 1-5?
Yeah, you have to be impressed, like winning by 10 points, Probably could have won by a bit more, Jack. We missed a few chances, But overall, very happy with the performance and how the boys set out about the game plan, Obviously, there was going to be a few mistakes in between first game and a long time, but overall, very, very good attitude and very happy with how it went.
I suppose both teams were slow enough to settle. It was 3-3 at the water break, but it's the second quarter that kind of won you the game, 1-3 to no score. Was that just the boys getting back to the feel of things after such a long delay?
I suppose the first 15 minutes, probably a bit of feeling each other out time. Waterford had a few chances in that period. We put a lot of pressure on them. In the second 15, well, no, we got the penalty right on half time, but we created a couple of chances before that. We had a 1-on-1 and we had another one, but if one more pass and there was another 1-on-1. So we had the chances. The boys were beginning to open up a bit more, plus maybe coming out at the water break and having a quick chat with Steve and Dave helped as well,
And one thing that what struck me watching the game, Joe, was you obviously had that big lead at half time. Waterford got a goal shortly after the restart, but your boys never seemed too disturbed by it and got a goal fairly quickly afterwards. They seem a very mature side.
Not too bad. We were lucky enough actually just after the goal. Consider which was unfortunate enough actually because Cahalan he made a good tackle on a fella and that actually penalised us. That the man's kick was deflected into the net. But the kick, Waterford won the kick out and were pressing for a score. And we turned over the ball and started around 21-14 and went up and Paul got a good point, and then we won the ball and we scored. We got the goal from the next movement again, so that negated. We obviously had a point more on, but the boys showed good maturity all right once we got our hands on the ball and they went at it,
And you're obviously playing Clare tonight. They had a huge win, 124 to 1-4 over Tipperary. So you're expecting a tough game, no doubt.
Oh God, yeah, it'd be tough, I suppose. If we were going to start Clare would have been favourites from our section to get to the final anyway, I'm fairly sure they had no players and like Stephen and Dave and John have been with the boys since they were under 14. No doubt the Clare management are the same. So a lot of them will know each other fairly well, but they were very impressive all right. Very, very impressive going forward with the ball, very comfortable with it and very good movement. Very good in the air as well, they were, in fairness to them.
And they're looking for a third final in 4 years. They're really building below Clare. For ye, it'd be the first final in since 1998. So it'd be a huge win for Limerick tonight if you were to get through it.
It would be a huge win, all right. You'd have to look at Clare and admire what they're doing. They seem to have the right system in place. Hopefully, we're building towards that now with the academy of the last few years, and maybe we'll see a few more teams from Limerick at least getting to semi-finals and trying to push on and get into more finals. I suppose realistically, if we want to be successful, we need to be making a few more of them on a more regular basis,
Yeah, and obviously it's only 4 days since that Waterford win. What are the bodies like? I presume it's just been all recovery in the meantime, nothing major.
Yeah, nothing major. We'd one training session Monday evening, but that was light enough. Kieran O'Sullivan is out for the game, all right. He's injured since Saturday, so that everyone else is fine. And like any youngster, they're only made looking forward to it,
Yeah, and you'll have home advantage. You probably, I suppose that we're looking away that Limerick have the facilities and Clare obviously didn't. But it's good for the boys to get that chance to play in the Gaelic rounds again.
It is, yeah, definitely. It's a big advantage, in fairness to them, especially coming so quickly after playing Waterford the other day. And the fact that you're not inside the car for an hour and a half or maybe a bit longer, coming from Galway or Abbeyfield, going all the way out to Milltown Melba, that the boys can be a bit more relaxed and they'll be a chance to stretch themselves when they get into the Gaelic grounds and relax a bit, makes a big difference.
And on Saturday, you started what was a pretty perfect weekend for Limerick. Yourselves and the minor hurlers won early on Saturday. The 20s lost, obviously, but then the senior hurlers won in All-Ireland on Sunday. So there's a huge buzz around Limerick, and your lads can really feed into that and then bring us to a Munster final, hopefully, tonight.
With the help of God, we can, anyway, we can keep it going. But the weekend was massive, all right, in fairness. It was great to get the win, great the minor hurlers get the win, but unbelievable on Sunday, especially to see such a performance. That gives huge lift. And I no doubt it'll give a huge lift to our young lads as well. Going into tonight gives them more confidence about themselves that they see that Limerick teams can perform at such a high level and put in such a performance as well. Once all the hard work is done.
And just one thing on the hurlers, we've all seen the likes of Keane Lynch and Sean Finn and Barry Nash come through from an academy. Is that something that the footballers, the year lads, can look at and say, hopefully in 7-8 years we can be contesting for senior titles?
Well, definitely something the young lads would have to be looking at to see so many of these lads come through from the academy. And, like, if you work hard, that does rewards to be got. Might take a bit longer maybe to get to senior finals, but there's definitely rewards there with hard work and good structures in place and doing the right things through strength and condition and nutrition along with all your skills. But definitely, yeah.